Alrighty guys, what is going up? Welcome back to the live stream. We're going to be talking about the top stocks that I am going to be looking at for this month. So I hope you guys enjoy it here. I'm going to go ahead and send a quick link to the group chat since we have the link up and ready to go. So let me pull that up here on my phone, and I should be able to do it just right off my phone. But yeah, we're going to be breaking down some of the top stocks that I'm going to be looking at for this month. So I hope you guys enjoy it here. And honestly, for this week too, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in the market. We have a lot of catalysts. We have a lot of fundamental catalysts that's going to be making the whole stock market a very, very interesting week, in my opinion. I think with the presidential election here, that's going to give us opportunity in the market. Pretty much with everything going on is going to give us opportunity, and as traders and investors, we really look for that opportunity here. All right, so I think we should be good in the group chat here. And like always, if you guys have any questions, ask them in the comments here, and then I will pull it up if you guys want me to look at a certain stock or whatever you want me to do. All right, so the first stock here that I want to look at is ticker symbol ACB. This stock is up 56%. You guys can see this beautiful explosion in buying pressure. Now, the why a lot of people are looking at this one right now is due to the whole election. Right now, Joe Biden did win the presidential election, and his administration is more likely to legalize marijuana across the whole United States. So I do think that gives us opportunity for this stock because it's high volatile, high growth, basic resistance here at 12. Support here looks like it's at around 9. I do think it could definitely fall back down to this 90 moving average line. That's where my entry would be on this one here. But now let's pull up CBAT. All right, so this one here, I'm just looking at it. We are on the 5-day, 15-minute chart. Let's go to the 180-day for this one here because it really didn't look too much. Didn't really look like anything. All right, so this one here, you guys can see we've had multiple really explosion in buying pressure. Stock was trading at around 93 cents, 90 cents, hit highs at $5.78. We've had some sell-off here in the meantime. So right now, do I think there's an opportunity? Well, what I would look for, honestly, is a bounce here on this 200 moving average line or this 90 moving average line. Because right now, the short term and really the overall trend of this stock is down. So really the sellers are in control of this one. So to go long on this, we would have to get a breakout of this overall trend direction. I do think it's possible, but I do think it's going to definitely have to hit one of these moving average lines to do it. That's just my opinion. I think that there's opportunity there with definitely a wedge or something like that. But right now, I think the overall trend is going to go down. You guys can see we had this overvalued state, and now we're just selling off. So we'll probably sell off to about 288 before we get some buying pressure coming back into this one here. Now, looking at Adobe here, AD. I always forget the ticker AD. Let's just search Adobe. Okay, so what do you think buying if it goes below 450 or 450? I think buying this one here. You guys can see Adobe is definitely a long-term growth stock. This stock, I believe it's outperformed really all the major indexes for the past like 5 or 6 years. So that's really strong because we always hope as investors, history repeats itself. We always hope that this stock could, continue that rally. So for it to go back down to 450, that would be definitely right at some support. I would go long into it. I'll set an alert with you and I'll buy a couple of shares. Now the reason why I say that is because there is multiple supports at that. So let's go ahead and draw it out. So 450 is about right here. I want to get it perfect for you, but okay. So you guys, what the heck? Okay, so 450 is about right there. You guys can see, let me change this. you guys can see it comes in contact with it and we get buying pressure. Comes in contact with that price point, buying pressure, buying pressure. So that is a very, very strong support for this overall stock here. So definitely, I would definitely go long if it falls below 450. But the risk you always take when you have these high growth stocks is, will it ever fall back down there? And that's a question you always have to ask yourself, because if you're trying to time the market, it's going to be very hard and you can miss out on opportunities. So honestly, for a stock like this, I would do the dollar cost averaging. I think you would be a killer with this stock with that strategy. So really what you do is, if that's, say you want to invest, let's just say $1,000. Instead of trying to time the market here with this one and, buy in at all these dips, you're missing out on opportunity in the long run. So what you do is you just take that $1,000 or whatever you want to invest, and you maybe invest $100 per week over the next 10 weeks. So you're still investing that $1,000, but you're just spreading out the average price. You're going to get a good overall average price for those 10 weeks. That's what I would recommend doing for this one. And what I do is, anytime the stock falls more than about 4 to 6%, you invest in double what you normally would put in. So you make more money in the long run. What do I think of Chinese EV companies? Honestly, I don't know much about them. I know we had NIO absolutely explode in buying pressure because they showed their deliveries and they blew it out of the water. But some of these guys, I'm not sure. We can pull them up. So is that the ticker LI? So it looks honestly like a very similar chart to NIO. Whoops. Looks like a very similar chart. You guys can see we have this late explosion. So let's pull up LI. Late explosion. So honestly, I do think the whole EV sector right now is definitely exploding in buying pressure. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for the short and long term. So most of these stocks, I would just say be cautious of. Make sure you're getting in on an undervalued state or doing dollar cost averaging. Or if you don't want to do that, at least have a base of like ETFs or blue chip stocks or bonds to act as your defense in your portfolio. Because when you invest, it's all about having a strategy. I don't care what you do, you have to have a strategy. And if you're not prepared for the defense, you're going to get hit pretty hard if some of these stocks get sold off. Do you think they are good long term? I think most of all, most electric car companies definitely have long-term potential, but it's all about picking and choosing the right ones. That's where I was saying having a base of ETFs, bonds, or at least don't go heavily invested. Invest, what I do is I invest about 5% of my account into growth stocks. So it's not a lot, but the way I think of it is, if I'm investing 5% and maybe one or two of those stocks turn out to be, beautiful growth stocks and go up 100, 200%, it's going to outweigh all my losses, and I'm going to be in the profit 100% of the time. So what do I think of AMD? AMD is honestly, I do think there's a lot of potential with AMD. I know a lot of investors say the stock is overvalued, but I do think for a couple of reasons, AMD is going to continue to go up. Number one, I know they're working with multiple, I think they just bought out a company and they bought out one of their competitors in the, I believe, CPUs, because that's what they make, like graphics cards, CPUs. I think it was one of the two. They bought out the company, so that gives AMD more market share. That means AMD can make more money. That means AMD can grow. And on top of that, there's this weird correlation with AMD and cryptocurrency. I'm not a big cryptocurrency guy. I'm sure you guys know I don't dabble with it at all. But when we've had, Bitcoin go up in value, there's a correlation between those and a lot of these computing stocks, because a lot of people use AMD, Intel, they use these computers to actually generate Bitcoin. So it's just kind of like a weird correlation that I've seen with them. But definitely, I do think AMD has some potential. Definitely some support here at 74. So that's where I would go heavily if it falls. resistance here at 94 and resistance here at 88. So right now with it being at 85, instead of trying to time the market, this would be another good dollar cost averaging stock, in my opinion, because we have that growth going up, but it definitely likes to trade sideways before we get that buying pressure like in here. So that's what I would recommend doing. But another stock here that I'm looking at is Run. You guys can see we've had beautiful buying pressure, major sell-off, fell under this 200 moving average line, and now is getting bought up. I do think it's going to curl back down and then hit this moving average line as support, and we can get some buying pressure from at least 57 to 65, setting stops here at around 55. So you're really going to risk, $2 to $3 to try to make 10. That would be a perfect ratio for risk and reward. But this is just one that I'm, looking at for the short term here. And a lot of EV stocks, electric autos, a lot of electric stocks right now are going to get a lot of attention because of the presidential election. Joe Biden did win, and he is going to be giving more electric car companies incentives, so they're overall going to make more money. And I do think that is something to understand, is there is still kind of like a hidden catalyst behind these, but just something to be aware of. Also, another stock here that I am looking at is, well, of course, Tesla, of course, Apple. You guys can see we had a beautiful support call out here at around 107. Coming back up here, I do think we may have a little hard time breaking over this 118 area. You guys can see it, use it as resistance multiple times. Boom, boom. So this is going to be a good overall trend direction, or a trend, whatchamacallit, a resistant breakout. If it can break through, it's going to definitely go up to about 125. What apps do you recommend to invest through if I live in EU? Honestly, I'm not sure. I like the apps I use are TD Ameritrade, M1 Finance. I use Lightspeed for day trading. I use a variety of apps for finding stocks. I have Trade Ideas. I have dividends.com. I pay for a service there. Finvest. So what apps do I recommend to invest through? I'm not sure. I would just look it up. What you want to look up if you guys are going for a long-term approach, make sure they have fraction shares. Make sure there's no fees, no commission, or anything like that. And make sure you do all of your own investments yourself, because if you're going to be paying for a service, it's going to kill you in the long run. That's why companies like Acorns, I've used them, but I don't recommend them because they're charging you $3 per month to use. That's like the middle one. They can charge you $5 per month. In the course of a long run, in 40 years, if you would have taken that $5 and used M1 Finance that charges you 0 fees, has the exact same service, you would have around $17,000 more in your trading or your investing account by the time you retire. So make sure there's no commission, no fees or anything like that, because I'm not really sure what brokers are there. How do you control FOMO? Well, honestly, for me, I've been investing so long that I understand with the stock going up in value, it gets more risky. So just because we had Apple, let's just look at this chart right here. Okay, every time Apple goes up in value more, the risk level goes up. As a value investor, as a growth investor, you understand the FOMO should be when the stock falls. That's because you don't want to miss out on this opportunity here. And that's kind of the mindset I set on myself, is because just because the stock is going up in value, you guys can see all these people that invested pretty much from here all the way to here lost money. Almost every single one lost money. So I understand with the stock going up in value at a rapid rate, the overall risk level goes up. So to control FOMO is honestly just through experience and understanding that tip. in a book that you should read, though, if you're having a hard time, with your emotions, is The Intelligent Investor. It's written by Ben Graham. He's a he was a value investor, I believe in the 30s. This is the book that Warren Buffett read, and it changed his life. And honestly, I read it about once a year just to kind of, recap it. It's a phenomenal investing book. It's called The Intelligent Investor. I'm looking at it right now. So definitely check it out. I think it's only like $15, and it's something that you will have for the rest of your life. You can always refer back to it, and I can guarantee it's gonna help you with your emotions, with your investing. I guarantee it, because it helped me. So yeah, that's what I would recommend doing, though, is just understanding with the stock going up, gets more risky. With the going down, it gets back to a fair value that you can make money on. And yeah, honestly, with investing, I don't think people understand, especially beginners. With investing, it's literally probably 20% education and like 80% emotion. Emotion is such a key factor with investing, and it can ruin your whole account in like hours if you let it get a hold of you. So you want to pull up Twitter? Whoa, what the heck is going on with my keyboard? There we go. Do I think Twitter's about to crash? Well, it looks like we did get some sell-off here. So right now it's at $43, was trading at $54. I think they released some sort of catalyst here, a earnings or something like that. A lot of it is just because of this. See, it's just so hard to find stuff on here because of the election. But honestly, do I think Twitter will sell off? I do think Twitter right now could still be a little overvalued. I don't know if it will fall back down to 39 again, but it definitely could fall back down to about, $41. I don't know. I do think with all these stocks, there's a lot of overvalued stocks out there. And when you had this major fall, it honestly brings opportunity. Because we still have the overall trend going up. So I'm not sure about Twitter's fundamentals. That's one thing. I'm just looking at technicals right now, but it is kind of on this support line at around 38. So that's kind of interesting. Resistance here at 43, 44. So yeah, there could be a little short-term sell-off there. I see it for sure. I showed you guys Run. I early showed you ACB. There's a couple other ones here, but yeah. So guys, there's a lot of opportunity in the market right now. So if you guys have any questions, ask them. But I think we're about to close the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I try to do these, once a week. I try to do them probably Saturday or Sunday, and then I just send it in the group chat here. Right in here. So this is where it will be right here. Okay, with me holding $100. But if you guys want to sign up here, I'll let's just do. All right, I will send it in here if you guys want to check it out. There you go. And this is kind of where I'm going to be posting probably in about 30 minutes. I'm going to post the top weekly stocks. So if you guys want to check those out, most of them we did talk about. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next week in the